Hi, you guys. It is Friday. I wasn't able to get into Plum Grove this morning to help my parents. And I've already really struggled with that. Not being there with my mom. So I'll just give you guys an update from my point of view. I've been on the phone with everybody, so I can just tell you how things are going over there. I can tell you what the feeling is right now. If you can see in my window behind me on the news, all it is nothing but flood, and just constantly, and it's just heart-wrenching. So I'm gonna walk down. My pond looks like the highest I think I've ever seen it since we've lived here. So I'm gonna walk down there and check that out and talk to you all about some of the conversations that I've been having this morning. So it's not raining now, and I always look at my windmill to see. You can hear the thunder still rumbling. My windmill helps me know where it's coming and where it's going. So the wind is coming now. It's out of the south, and so this looks like it's a little better sky than that. And that's where it's going. So that is leaving us. That's a good thing. And look above me. Look, there's clearing in the skies, you guys. Praise you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. There's clearing in the skies. It's moving out of here. You can see my windmill is spinning pretty good. So it's blowing all that bad out. And like there's still maybe it's a little brown, or not brown. It's a little gray that way, but it's not as bad. Chickens seem unbothered. Their little house is nice and dry. I checked on them this morning earlier. They were all in there just roosting. Just no issues with them. That's good. All right, let's walk down there and see. Okay, I'm walking down towards the pond to look at that. You may hear the thunder in the background, but it has moved. It's off to the north of us, so it's going away. The train's running. I heard a train horn. We have a train track about 2 miles from our house, and I just heard a train horn. So I guess a train track must be open somewhere. So I've been on the phone this morning with my sister, Kim. We've been communicating back and forth pretty regularly. I talked to Buddy and Steph earlier. Stephanie was texting me around, she's like, "Are you up?" And I'm like, "I'm up." So it was probably around 5:30. Stephanie and I were texting. So here's the rundown. My parents are right now at Kim's house. Kim's house is high off the ground, and it's not in the actual flood zone. So in Hurricane Harvey, it got up to her back porch, but her house was fine and her front yard was fine. So Buddy and Stephanie's house also is not in the flood zone, and it got up to Stephanie's back door in Harvey, but it did not get in her house. So those are two safe homes right there to be in. So Kim has been at my mom's house all morning, helping her move everything up. By what the flood projection, the height of the water, it's probably going to get in my parents' house. I mean, we can always pray for miracles, but if you're just going to be like worst case scenario, I would say maybe 1 foot to 2 feet in my parents' house. And that's because, like I was talking to Lester earlier, we were discussing it. So the river projection says 70 something feet, but because the development has changed in the last 8 years, or from 94, 30 years, the development has changed. So the land has changed. So what, used to the flood water could go this way, and now if this is built up, it's going to push it back more this way. I'm like Lester and Jamie now with my hands, how things go. But that's what you got to think about. So if all the land is even, and in those neighborhoods across the street from my parents' house, that was a lot of swamp, so the water could go back that way. Now they've built all of that up since 94, and even more since Harvey. So the water can't run that way anymore. Now it's got to come back this way, which is where on the side of the street that I'm a survivor, Jacob, Daniel, my parents, everybody's there on this side of the street. So if the water can't go this, it's going to start doing back this. So I told Kim, I said, can you plan on like 2 foot of water in the house? If you can prep for that, sheetrock can be cut out, insulation can be cut out. My mom actually has real wood cabinets that if the water comes up and goes down quickly, the cabinets were fine last time. So she has a log home with concrete floors, and the logs are treated logs, and they've been stained in polyurethane, so the logs don't really absorb the water. So the way that my parents' house is built is actually so good. I mean, it's easy to clean out. So you can get a power washer in there, and you can spray out them concrete floors, clean out the cabinets, and you got to get bleach and stuff to wipe down things. The only wall that has insulation in it is the wall between their bathroom and their bedroom, and the bathroom and Carly and Coda's little playroom. It used to be my bedroom when I was a teenager. So that's really the only walls that would have to be completely, taken out. Or, not taken out, but cut, and the insulation taken out, and replace that drywall. So those are very good things that we're dealing with right there. I'm going to show y'all, these ducks have gotten out of the water. It's gotten too high. They're like, we don't want to be in that water. It's too high right now. But it's actually not too much different than what we looked at yesterday. I looked at the rain gauge. I'm sorry I didn't show you, but so I dumped the rain gauge out yesterday. You saw me do that, and now it's at 4 inches. So we had 6 inches yesterday and another 4 inches this morning. That's where we're at with the rain. I know you guys. They were up at the house earlier in the yard. Tony was freaking out, barking at them. Look at all this water running off. We're in a really good drainage. The way they built this here, the water drains so fast. If you can see it, all this running water. It's all running. See that? It all runs to the lake. So our drainage situation is actually very good. I'm very blessed, and I don't want y'all to think anything other than how blessed I am, because I by no means take anything for granted. I wish I could pick up my mother and just bring her over here with me, but I can't get over there. And then she made up some silly thing. I said, Mom, if I can get there to get you. That looks like there's something dead in the water right there. Doesn't that look like something dead? Oh, I hope that's not like a little duck. Surely ducks don't drown in the water. What is that? Looks furry to me. Can't tell. It looks like something furry. It's kind of sad. It's pouring out down there. Look, Robert showed you all that drainage comes into here. So back to the conversation I was having. So I talked to my mom. Oh, okay, so let me start from the beginning. My dad called me about 6 o'clock this morning. He said, Tina, you can't get in. You can't get in. The roads are closed. He said the river came up way faster than expected last night, and it's already up to the back of his chicken coop. And I said, okay, Dad. He said, we're surrounded here. You can't get in. And I said, well, let me see if I can get into the 99, because if I can come in the back way, I can come in that way. And he said, I just don't think you can. It's been raining all night. So that's when I talked to Stephanie, and she said that the 99 entrance did have flood water over the road. And yesterday she got out when the water had receded, and there was big chunks of the road missing. So she said it's very dangerous to come in that way if there's water over the road. Of course, I wouldn't want to do that. So I called Kim, Kim said, I'm going to mom's right now. Please don't try to get out of here. It's too dangerous, you know, just stay where you're at. And so she said, I'll help mom get everything put up. So Kim went up there to help mom. And I mean, you guys, you know how like when you're going through something or you see somebody else going through something and you wish it could be you because you're like, well, because I'm younger and I can handle it and I've got my boys, and I think about my mom and my dad and my sister and just trying to get everything done. And, you know, it just is so hard to think about that. So anyway, I just was praying. Well, then so finally, so Kim calls me back and she said, okay, we've got everything put up. We've got everything on the counters. We've got the furniture stacked up high. She said, I think if we have, 2 foot, everything's going to be fine. And I'm like, okay, well, praise God for that. And then I said, did you take up the carpet? Because, let me explain why. When I look at myself, sometimes I look just like my grandmother. It kind of freaks me out. I said, did you take up the carpet? And Kim said, no, we didn't take up the carpet. Well, Kim wasn't there in 1994, and I was living in that house in 1994, me and Dustin. I told y'all that yesterday. And I said, the carpet has to come up because in 2017, they did not take up the carpet. And that's what they kept saying over and over and over again. My dad kept saying, we should have took up the carpet. We should have took up the carpet. Because when you're moving out dry carpet, it's very different than having to roll out wet, soggy, muddy, silty carpet. And so I'm like, you got to take out the carpet. And then Kim said, well, the only thing is, Tina, we've stacked things on like top of things and the carpet's under it. And I said, cut around it and get as much carpet out as you can now. So Kim said, well, okay. And it was just at that point, it was her and G. So then I talked to Stephanie, and Stephanie and Buddy had been down there helping also. And so Stephanie said, I called her and I said, Stephanie, y'all got to go take out the carpet. And I told her, the situation with the wet carpet versus the dry carpet. I mean, water's coming in at this point. Right now, you can't anymore. I mean, like with Noah's Ark, you build the ark and be prepared, just do it. You pray for the best, but you plan for the worst, right? So I'm like, take out the carpet. So Stephanie said, okay, Buddy and I are going right now. And then about, 30 minutes ago, my mom called and she said, Tina, everything is done. We're at Kim's. We're safe. The carpet's been taken out. Everything's been moved up. All of our valuables are safe. Everything's good. And she said, even when the road's clear, don't come over here. Just stay where you're at with your boys and stay safe. And I said, Mom, I want to come get you and I want to bring you over here with me. And she said, well, I'm not coming because I got to stay here with your dad and I got all these dogs. And I'm like, Mom, I have kennels, I have a dog, it's fine. And she said, no, I just want to be here in the morning because in the past, the river comes up, but it goes down really fast. And even the charts almost show it like a point straight down. It doesn't linger. And so she said, I want to be here in the morning when the water's gone so I can see, And I understand that, if it was my house, I'd want to be there too. But I told her, I said, I'll bring you back in the morning. We can go look as soon as, the roads are clear. And she's like, I'm just going to stay. I'm fine at Kim's. So, Buddy and Stephanie have their RV. And I think that Bree may be staying in Buddy and Stephanie's RV. I'm not 100% sure, but I think. And of course, there's Buddy and Stephanie's house, and there's Kim's house. But yesterday when they were able to get out, I told my mom, let me come get you, when they could still get out yesterday. And nobody wants to leave. And part of me understands that. You want to be there, you want to be, right there when everything's happening so you can try to protect your property somehow. I understand that mentality. But at the same time, I want to be able to protect you and I want to keep you safe. So that's the latest update. My son Dustin and Jill live in New Caney, Texas, and they're about 15-20 minutes from me, and their neighborhood is pretty high and dry. They're having no issues. They've got power. Everything's fine. So we live, where we're at is we're on the west side of Cleveland, Texas. We're out towards Conroe, but Cleveland and Conroe, or if you say Cleveland and Conroe, we're west. We're in between Cleveland and Conroe. And Cleveland's right here. And my parents are on the other side of Cleveland. So we just have the city of Cleveland between us. And the city of Cleveland, I believe, is underwater. We've been watching the news all morning. But I know that sounds bad, but it's going away from us. It's not coming to us. So we're okay right here. But I may go out later when all this rain passes on, because Bennett says it's supposed to be clear and the skies are going to clear out in a little bit. And so we may go out towards Cleveland and show you how it looks out that way. I'll just have to wait and see, because I will not drive through water. Don't worry, I will not. So anyway, I'm Tina over here off the hill. Goodbye, guys.